You are getting New York native, just like us, Nick.
Wow.
Um,
No
Mr.
idea.
George Kirby.
Yes. Where do you have George Kirby, Eric? I have him at 11
Uh,
here.
I have George Kirby at 14 right now.
Okay. All right.
And but I'm iffy on him, like because we're gonna get innings, we're gonna get an elite whip. We did not get the jump in strikeout rate that we were hoping for coming into this year,
Yep.
but this is still a pitcher who just finished his third major league season. And so all of the hey, there's this potential for growth. It doesn't all go
Unbelievable
out the
addition to
window
this
because we
team. The
didn't see
last
it,
of many great moves for
come
Dana
to
Brown,
fruition this year.
as
I think the aspects of his arsenal that we thought could be
Okay,
improved
here's
in
something I
order
can't
to,
figure out.
boost strikeout
And
rates are there. I don't think he's all of a
got
sudden going
blocked
to be
by
like a
Polanco his first.
28%, 27% strikeout rate guy, but could he still be a 25% strikeout rate guy? Like, sure, with an elite whip on a good team, and like a low threes ERA, like that's all in the cards. And I I know we both agree there's no such thing as like a safe starting pitcher, but he feels as safe adjacent as you might be able to get.
Yeah. That's the thing about Kirby is that we know that he should be able to go 200 innings. We know that he's going to get enough strikes that he should keep down the walk rate at 3%, which means the whip, even though he has an 8.5 hit per nine, which is bad, that is above
It's one
average.
of
You
those
want to see
moments
under
where
an eight.
you have to
You
take
still
that
have a
breakfast with us
107
in
whip
Detroit
because he
to
just
get over the
doesn't walk
hump.
batters.
Here
And
it
I've certainly
is.
said, hey, I want to see you walk batters because it means that you're going to be a little bit more
Sure.
careful. However, or less careful, and you actually can go around the shadow zone and maybe reduce that swing rate a little bit so you can get more called strikes because the four seamer has an elite swing strike rate, actually the highest four seamer swing
Swings and
strike
misses.
rate of any four seamer
Braves with a
of
1
starting
nothing
pitchers
lead.
this year, among the top 200 in batters faced.
Josh
Yeah, that's 17.6%, 100th percentile. Yes, more than every stud
got
you
him.
can think of throws
94
super hard.
strikeouts. So
George
Vasquez is
Kirby
up.
has a better one, but he also has the highest swing rate. And he has the second percentile called strike rate. So it is a lot of O swing in there, 41%. It's a lot out of the zone, but it's all pretty much just right up there. And without that slider like Logan Gilbert's that is keeping them honest enough, that's why batters are actually hitting this ball a decent amount into play for hits. It's why he has
That
14
is
home
tagged
runs
straightaway
off of
center.
this
Deep and
four
gone.
seamer this year. That is the big
Manny
difference. When you see a
Machado
low whip and a somewhat high
with the
ERA
home run and
3.53,
swung.
just know instantly it's home runs.
Mhm.
And this year it was 104 home run per nine. There was also 72% left on base rate. And generally, we see with elite pitchers that goes up higher than average. The worst pitchers in baseball are going to be around 70% or so. The better ones are going to be closer to 74%, 75% because they just have better stuff and they should be leaving more guys on base. But with George Kirby, hasn't been able to quite do that in a near 300 BABIP because, again, they're hunting for the fastball. So I think over time that George Kirby, with this baseline of, hey, still being very, very good for your teams, can continue to adapt and figure out how do I get guys off of this. Maybe it is the sinker being a little bit more involved. Maybe it's the slider being better located because honestly, it wasn't. It was just generally more of a strike pitch. It was only 14% swing strike rate against righties. That's a problem. The splitter also was not a good put away pitch against lefties. George Kirby had a 13% put away rate on a splitter. That should be 20 to 25%, especially for one that he just doesn't throw a lot. So I think there are a lot of areas that Kirby can improve.
Mhm.
Again, it's still such a good foundation of that fastball, and the slider isn't bad. It's just I know he can take another step.